was once a day that I would pray for you. I'd go and misbehave just so you'd notice too. Sneaking looks up and down from across the room. And damn, what a hell of a view. I feel good, you look great, I like you, I can't wait. A first time, a first date, you're so fine, I'm so late. You sip wine, I drink straight, don't waste time to my place. I feel my heart erase, so catch me if I fall. Praying that this night's gonna last. You got it all on tap, I'm loving your vibe, always have your back. We like all the same tracks, listen all night in the sheets all black. Said I'm falling fast, don't remember life before you, that's facts. I feel good, you look great, I like you, I can't wait. A first time, a first date, you're so fine, I'm so late. You sip wine, I drink straight, don't waste time to my place. I feel my heart erase, so catch me if I fall.
Okay, party people, here we have on your screen is Shine Like a Pro AZ, which is Sean's channel on YouTube. So think of Sean's channel like this. He takes my long form content and he slices and dices and puts it through his magic machine and comes up with short form content. You can think of this like the Cliff Note version of my long form videos. He is streaming on that channel. And then there's me and my channel, Auto Fetish Detail. Most of the videos are what's considered long form, where I go into great detail.
Okay, there we go. I noticed that it got cut off towards the very end. Sean, do you know why?
Yeah, I'll fix that later.
Yeah. So Juice Free, guess what? Juice Free is the first here. So Umberto, if he jumps in tonight, he might be a little bummed that you beat him to the punch, Juice Free. So thanks for tuning in this evening. I hope everyone is having a fabulous weekend so far. I know I am. It's 80 degrees. Actually, it's warmer than that. So today at the beach, pristine blue skies, 80 degrees at the beach. And we are in April 5th. I would say that's pretty darn amazing. Now, with that said, is it did get a little windy at the end, which, leave it to the wind, can be a big fat buzzkill, but it was still tolerable and it was still fabulous. And
that's awesome.
Yeah. So, and how's your weekend treating you so far, Sean?
It's going great. I think we should get started so we don't lose the audience.
Oh, so that would suggest that my little intro about my fabulous day at the beach was boring and uneventful and yawn producing content.
No, not that. But I just want to get into it, and then we can talk about that later. But today's video, guys, we're going to be talking about auto detailing, and I'm going to let Darren take over. He kind of knows what it's all about, so you guys can know what the heck we're talking about today.
So this thumbnail that Sean created, very well done, Sean. We thought we'd talk about the levels, and we're going to reduce it down to 3. 1, 2, and 3. Level 1 is your introductory, your like the bare minimum plan. And when I say the bare minimum plan, that could mean a lot of things. So for example, at the simplest, it's going to mean that you're a true beginner as far as your skill set and experience set goes. Now, you may have had the money to fully equip yourself with everything you need in a dedicated van, perhaps, could be a dedicated truck. You could have all the equipment and you could look completely professional with years of experience, but regardless, you're a beginner and you have very limited experience. Then level 2 would be anything. I would say level 2 could be anything from 6 months into being a complete beginner, moving forward. And then level 3, man, very few people make it to level 3. Yes, do I consider myself a level 3 guy? Yes, I do. Welcome, Umberto. Sorry, dude. First from Puerto Rico. Yes, you are first from Puerto Rico. But Juice Free beat you to the party tonight as the first person. But thanks for coming in. We can always count on you, Umberto. Anyhow, so like any business, whichever you want to, however you want to label it, the success rate of businesses, the failure rate of businesses. The point is that most businesses, regardless of the niche, regardless of the sector, just do not make it long term. I don't suppose, look at Juice Free. He saved you your spot. What a team player. How about that? And we've got Mobile Detail Shop in the house. So what's up, guys? What's up with you, man?
Yeah, happy Saturday, everyone.
Happy Saturday, party people. So I don't know. That would be something to look up, Sean. I mean, that'd be a pretty quick search on GPT, the success or failure rate of business startups, because they kind of metric it out.
I already know what
So,
it is.
for example,
I can tell you what it is.
What's that?
I already know what it is because I looked it up before.
I have too. I just don't remember the exact numbers. So it's like within the first 3 years, I think the failure rate is, I don't remember, something like 57%.
It's higher than that. So the first year, it's if 5 businesses start at the same time, only 1 in 5 will succeed.
In long term, you mean?
No, the first year.
Yeah. So what's that? A 20%
really low.
Success rate?
Vast majority.
So 80% failure rate?
Yeah, majority of people fail within the first year. Because they think it's too hard.
Yeah, and that's been my experience having trained a lot of guys.
See, Juice Free just said 85%.
Yeah. It's horrid. Whatever the number is, 80%, 90%, 85%, it's just bad. And that's in every niche. So regardless of the sector or the niche you're in, with detailing, I suspect it's even greater than that. I would be willing to bet. Hey, Brian, welcome back. I'd be willing to bet that detailing, those numbers are even worse because of the physical nature of detailing, and more specifically, mobile detailing, which you're enduring the weather. The weather, when you're mobile, you don't get to control your environment by having a shop. And so wherever you live in the world, you're dealing with that weather based on the season and where you live in the world. And that is significant. So when you combine that with the physical nature of detailing, that's a lot working against you. But this is me not trying to discourage anyone who's thinking of it. I'm just really, I think in a lot of ways, it's important to have a good understanding of what you are up against so that you can be better prepared. And growing up in Southern California, the weather was really a non-issue when I first started, as in my thinking about it and considering it. Yes, I was aware of the fact that we do get some rain during wintertime, but that just was not a deterrent for me. I just don't know what other guys do in other parts of the world, how much they factor in the weather and the fact that they're mobile and they will be subject to the weather conditions. And there's plenty of guys, we've discussed this before, Sean, that pretty much pack it up for winter, based on where they live, because conditions are just so bad. And it'd be one thing if customers still wanted you in your services, and you just had to endure bad weather. But the reality is when that bad weather comes, yes, it's going to deter you, but it's going to deter most people because they're going to think to themselves, why would I have my car detailed when the weather just sucks? And it's going to be destroyed within the next 24 hours, perhaps. So it is a thing. But the point of these levels is reducing it down to 3. Very few guys make it even out of level 1. A true beginner, almost no experience at a professional level. And just to clarify something, because I've been asked this question enough times in the past to re-answer it, which is guys will say, well, what makes a person a professional versus a non-professional? In the simplest of terms, once you're paid to do anything, and this could be in sports, let's say you're in amateur sports and you've never gotten paid and you want to go pro. Well, the simple answer is once you're paid to do whatever it is you're doing, you are now considered at a professional level. Doesn't mean that you're necessarily good, especially with detailing. It has that has no bearing on your competence. It just means that yes, you're professional because you're now getting paid to do it. So the point is, as a beginner, you could have almost zero skills, very limited skills. You could be very limited on your competence, but that's, I guess, the nature of detailing also is that it's got a low entry point as far as skills and money, which is why a lot of guys are attracted to it. And then add on top of that is the fact that a lot of guys just like cars. And they like working with their hands. And so it's a natural fit as far as any guy considering the possibility of starting their own business.
There's Umberto saying something. Yeah, I did find some information online, but there you go. Umberto.
Deals with dusty environment, heat, cold, raining, basically like the post office. Yeah, you know what? That's a perfect comparison, Umberto. Yeah, those mail carriers or Amazon delivery guys, UPS, fill in the blank. I mean, they got to deal with all that because the post. I mean, I guess we're even worse because, I mean, if you're a postman, at least you get to wear, layers of clothing where you're not having to be so agile with your body. You're getting in and out of a truck, whatever, walking around, delivering mail. But with detailing, you got to be a little more agile. You literally, it could ruin your work. Anyhow, so it's a great parallel.
Darren, read what I just put on the screen.
Approximately 20% fail within their first year, nearly 50% after 5 years, around 65% by the 10th year.
That's what I said online.
Yeah.
If that's true or not, who knows? And that's just a general.
Yeah, for business in general,
States. Right? Well, no, this is not business. This is auto detailing. So I typed in auto detailing for the nation.
Oh.
And so it just gave a general because it'd be more specific about where, what city, state.
Which is interesting because I've always wondered how they come up with these stats because I've been in the business, 30 plus years. And I'm thinking, have I ever once answered a question to somebody regarding my business and how long I've been in it? And I'm just thinking, how would they qualify those stats? I have no idea. Well, I believe them.
I was thinking about going back to talk more about the level 1, level 2, level 3. And give some examples. So I from experience, I've witnessed level 1. And I'm not going to call it a detailer. I'm going to call it mobile car wash. I've personally seen, and you guys in the audience, if you guys have any stories of anything you've seen, feel free to put it in the chat, and then we can discuss it. But one thing I've seen in level 1 is I've seen guys who go to people's homes. First of all, their van doesn't look the greatest. The inside is pretty messed up. And I personally saw a guy, one of my neighbors, back when I lived in California, and he was washing a car. He dropped a rag on the street, picked it up, and kept using it instead of getting a new one, which, it dropped in the gravel, all the rocks and dirt.
Yeah.
And that's just an example. Or they do is like they'll charge, a lot of these guys go out to businesses say, hey, $20 per car. That doesn't matter how big it is. You know what I mean? They go out there, they do cheap labor. It's all about volume. And then also, another thing I want to talk about is, if you want to, one thing I can do is, like, I can actually look up local mobile detailing companies in the areas, or in my area, your area, and we can see who do you think, or based on what you see, what level you think they are.
Before you do that,
Yeah.
I suspect that, and I know you did address the audience, but I'm going to say it again. I'm willing to bet if you guys dug deep in your memory, that you guys would be able to come up with a story of observing some mobile detailer while you're out and about traveling and seeing something that just looked off, as in total newbie, total beginner, completely wrong, something that you observed. So with that said, is I've got a story, and I probably wouldn't believe myself if I hadn't witnessed it myself. So I remember, and I remember this so vividly. I was working in the city of Berea, and it was back behind two kind of look-alike building. They were commercial buildings, probably 5 stories high each. But the point is, we were working in the back in the parking lot, and there was about, I don't know, let's say, 50 yards separating me and another detailer. And I'm just kind of observing him out of the corner of my eye, because I'm, anxiously engaged in my own cause and trying to get the work done. But I am observing him, and I can tell he was new, just based on his setup. But that's only part of the information, because like you, Sean, you worked out of your car.
Yeah.
And if you were working next to me, I'd be like, yeah, this guy's probably new because he doesn't have a dedicated truck or van.
Yeah.
I can tell he's working at probably his daily driver.
Right.
But you could survive doing that for years and be very successful and very profitable. So it's just an indicator. It doesn't mean that it is what it is. It's just an indicator. But nonetheless, this guy had the same type of setup. So towards the end of his detail, I look over and I see him using newspaper to clean the windows.
Oh, wow.
Now,
That's pretty low.
Yes. Do you have any idea why he was doing that? I doubt it.
I'm guessing that's how he cleans his windows at home. I don't know.
Okay, well, I know why he was doing it, because you are probably just not old enough to know this or remember it. So when I was growing up, there's this book called Reader's Digest. It was a magazine. It was small. And for lack of a better description, it was a small magazine that came, and it had a lot of articles. See if you can pull it up. In fact, I wonder if it still exists. They would do it in digital form. Well, they probably do it in both.
I don't think that exists anymore. The Reader's Digest has been dead for a long time.
So you are familiar with it?
Of course I am. I'm not that young.
Well, one of the things in it was these tips, and I don't remember what they called, because they had sections of the book. My mom used to get it, and I would actually read through it. So they had different sections. One was called Humor in Uniform, that had to do with stories taken from the armed forces. They had Expand Your word power, so they would have a bunch of new words that would tell you the definitions. But there's this other section that was kind of like DIY tips.
Yeah.
And it said that newspapers were the best way to clean windows. And their logic behind it was that because newsprint goes, to actually create the newspaper itself before it's printed, it goes through this very thorough process of cleaning and bleaching the material and forming it and then printing it. And because it's printed on the daily, as far as newspapers, it's fresh paper. It hasn't been sullied or soiled, whatever word you want to use. And so in their opinion, it made the best window cleaner as far as the cloth you would use. And it's just so funny. I remember reading that even when I was young, and I just thought, the logistics. Imagine using a newspaper. It's not like a paper towel that kind of is more malleable. Yeah. Newspaper is a little more rigid. And I'm thinking, there's no way that just on his face, to me, seems silly. Only to look over, years later and see this guy using newspaper. I'm going, I guarantee he probably heard this along the way, that newspaper is the best cloth to use to clean windows for a streak-free window cleaning experience. And I just thought, man, you couldn't get any more of a beginner than that, in my opinion. So that was funny. But
you want to go
so,
through the comments real quick?
Yeah, but once again, you guys, if you have any stories, I'd love to hear about them, by the way.
Yeah.
Let's see. And then being a business owner, detailer, you deal also with your webpage, SEO, scammers, reviews, etc., ad infinitum. Yeah, dude, running your business, you've got to wear like, 1,000 hats, and it's a lot. It really is a lot. Act as a videographer, photo editor. Yeah, and I've joked in a lot of my later videos when I'm shooting a video on location, and I said, boy, I remember the days when I could just show up to an appointment, get my ass kicked, but physically, because it's just so labor intensive to do a detail job, and then just roll away with money in my pocket. But when YouTube came along, or my channel anyways, and now I'm like multitasking, and now I'm showing up, and so now I have to worry about the detail under normal conditions. But now it's like, okay, what's the topic I'm going to shoot the video on? Because really, it's not really something I can plan in advance. Because what I would do is based on the vehicle itself and perhaps unique challenges of the moment, that I would pick and choose and say, okay, this car, because of what I'm dealing with, would make for a good video. So there wasn't really much planning I could do in the moment. So it was really on the fly. But then it suddenly becomes a combination of dealing with all kinds of stuff, like the ambient noise. In 99.999% of the times, I was always working in their driveway or the street. Very rarely, as in I could probably count it on two hands over 30 plus years, did I ever work in a person's garage. I did not like working in garages. The lighting was worse. There was no air current. So in the summertime, you were just sweating profusely because there's no wind current to keep you cool. I just didn't like it. So the point is, when you're trying to shoot a video and now you're out on the driveway or on the street, all these noises are getting picked up by the camera. Cars driving by in the street. Maybe you got the gardeners that show up next door, and now their leaf blowers are making a bunch of noise. Like where I live, we're underneath a flight pattern, so you get jets that go over and make noise. The trash collectors could be coming, and you're like, oh my gosh, can I just shoot a video here, people? Can the universe cut me a break? So it's just so many things. Never mind the lighting. Trying to get what you're trying to capture in the right lighting, which means that you may have to move the vehicle. And it just added so much extra time and effort to my detail job. And after a few years of that, I thought, I remember the good old days where all I had to worry about was just showing up, doing an amazing job, getting my ass kicked physically, and rolling away. But those days were soon gone because of this whole social media and YouTube and what have you. Anyhow, yeah, that's Brian. Yeah, I don't think it gets any more old style window cleaning than newspapers. And I wonder how many guys in our audience are old enough to even be familiar with that DIY tip. Use newspaper. In fact, I think I heard back in the day, if you ever came across a newborn baby that someone ditched, like a mother ditched in a trash can or whatever, it was ideal to wrap it in a new newspaper if you get your hands on one, because once again, it was the cleanest type of material that you could probably find at your disposal in the moment. I mean, I know how many fresh newborn babies I came across when I was growing up. Zero. Ended up with the tint on his hands. Maybe by tint, you probably mean the print, as in the black print of the newspaper. It actually didn't bleed, unless you meant that he was cleaning tinted windows, and because newspaper is not really soft and gentle, it might have scratched them up. One of those maybe you meant, but I do know that the newsprint itself, the black ink, did not leak out. It did not go onto the window, which I guess was good in that respect. Dos segundos. Tell me again what that means, Sean.
2 seconds.
2, yes. And I don't think we know why he has his
He told us
moniker.
before. He told us before. He was.
You
It wasn't.
remember?
Yes, he wasn't. He didn't mean to make that. He said he's going to change it later.
Oh,
But anyways, moving on because we have a new person in here, so I just want to get through these really quick.
okay. Brian saw a guy once detailing a car with a tiny bucket of water and one and one towel, a 16 by 16 towel, no chemicals. Yep. Yep. Maybe he's just trying to survive in life. Who knows? So Frank Williams, first time live with you guys. I'm going to guess final precision pulsing rather than penal. Like, I don't know. I don't know if that's a word. Penal.
Well, there's Pinal County here.
Pinal.
Yeah, that's a county here in Arizona.
Oh, maybe he's in Arizona. I've never heard that word before.
It's
I
possible.
was just wondering if maybe it's a typo, but
Frank
the
Williams,
fact that he's got a
are you-
PPP. What?
Yeah, do you live? I was like, Frank, do you live in Pinal County? Is that why it says Pinal? I'm sure he'll respond here in a second.
Yeah. Yeah, you can use for windshield as long as it's not color news. It's got to be black and white. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if anyone's actually tried it out there, but I actually have tried it just to see if it would prove my point, which is just almost an horrendous experience when compared to doing it with a cloth. I'm just thinking, like, no, this is not going to work. There's no way I'm going to do this professionally. I wouldn't do it on my own car. Even in a pinch, it's like I would probably pull the shirt off my back first before I tried to think I was going to have success using a newspaper. But that's just me. Oh, the newspaper ink on your hands. Yeah, I don't know. It just hasn't happened for me. But once again, not like I've got a ton of experience, and I accept, like anything else in life, nothing is created equal. So maybe the newsprint down in Puerto Rico will bleed onto your hands. Who knows?
See, I was right. He's from Arizona, but I'm skipping, so I'm not gonna skip. So here you go.
Wait, what do you mean you're skipping?
Don't worry. That's okay. Just hey, what's up, Mark? I'll get to him in a second.
Buenos noches, amigos. Yes, buenos noches, Mark. Mark is back in the house. Mr. Funny Guy. What are you looking up there, Sean?
I'll get to it in a second. I'm
All
jumping for you. But anyways, he's from Casa Grande. That's Pinal County. I was right.
Oh,
This is Arizona.
Pinal.
So
How do they pronounce it?
Casa Grande is in Spanish.
Pinal or Pinal.
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 Yeah, it's Casa Grande, but over here they call it Casa Grande. So they don't. That's the way you say it.
They
If you're
butcher
local,
it.
no, it's how you say if you're local. But if you are,
A foreigner and a transplant.
yeah, he's okay. I'll tell you in a second what he's saying. So he's saying, I say Casa Grande, home of Mark Lamb. Mark Lamb is used to be the sheriff here for Pinal County. He is famous nationwide, but he's no longer the sheriff. He had to step down because he's running for the Senate. And
why was he famous? What made him famous?
Oh, he's huge. Like if you type in Mark Lamb, Sheriff Mark Lamb, he's famous nationwide for
what though?
He's just tough on crime. Tough on.
Well, that's what I meant. He's got to be famous for some reason.
Yeah, he's
tough on crime.
He's a Republican, Trump supporter.
Yeah. Who's it seems like there was some governor or mayor, I want to say probably a governor, that forced the inmates of the prison to wear pink. Does that sound familiar, that story? It can be Texas.
I don't know that one.
No, it's pretty iconic or pretty well known, but apparently not that well known because you don't know about it.
No.
Casa Grande means big house. You know what? I actually might have known that one. Because Casa is home, correct? Grande is big. Grande Mark.
Yeah.
Pineal gland, yeah. I know. I'm familiar with the pineal gland, but I don't remember where in the body it is.
And before you say anything, Darren, I was say, hey Frank, I just want to let you know that I'm in Chandler, so I'm about a little bit less than an hour away from you. You know where Chandler is, Frank?
Probably.
Anyways,
just give me a damp microfiber and a piece of double aught steel wool, and I'm good. Okay, you're gonna go Hardcore. Yeah. I'm guessing he's referring to you, Sean.
Yep.
Yep. Live in PD. Indeed. Yeah. Well, welcome here, Frank. Glad you could wander in.
The freaking chat. All right.
Mark
And then
was-
Mark, yeah. But it was what you're
Darren
seeing
gets
here.
me. Oh, I so get you, Mark.
I was like, the comments are keep going.
Sheriff
yeah,
Joe.
Maricopa County.
Oh,
Yeah.
wait. So Joe's the one that does Joe do the pink suits for inmates? Because I've heard of that name, Joe. I don't remember how they pronounce that. Arpaio, Maricopa County Sheriff. Do you think
Yeah.
he's talking about the pink jumpsuits for
Maybe.
inmates?
Maybe, but I know that home of the pink boxers is what you said.
Pink boxers. Oh, okay. Hey, look at pineal gland. I'm curious where in the body the pineal gland is.
Well, actually, before we get to that, Darren, I don't want to get too far behind.
Off the topic, right?
Well, not just that, but like he mentioned polishing or precision polishing,
Yeah.
so I immediately put it on the screen. That's what I was doing. That's
But
Frank.
Is this
Frank?
his company?
I don't know, but Frank said earlier. Frank said, "I'm going back." He said, "Just stepping in. This is my first live with you guys. Pinal precision polishing." So I just typed it in.
Is this website that you pulled up? Is it located in Pinal?
I don't know.
Well, that might be a good place to start. I mean, precision polishing is a pretty ambiguous and general set of terms there.
But I'm sure he'll let us know. There's
Well,
definitely
you
one
could
of those-
look up like whatever you looked up. Did you put in Pinal or did you just
Yeah.
put precision polishing?
I put Pinal.
Yeah, so look at the contact page and see or the about us page. Yeah, do the contact. Contact will tell in most cases what city they're in.
No, this is not it.
Yeah, what state is that?
Oh, this is a different country.
Oh, well that that makes a big difference.
Yeah. Oh, we'll get to it in a second. But here's Dos Segundos.
What's the most cost-effective chemical to remove tar from paint or wheels besides Rapid Remover? That's a good question. How about Tarex? See, it's tough because when I discovered how well Rapid Remover works, I stopped trying anything else, and that was so long ago. And it's hard to say because Rapid Remover is just so effective. I mean, honestly, yeah, Tarex, I know I tried it. I just don't remember in a competition between Rapid Remover if it was as effective. So that's what's tough because when you want to say cost effective, it's like, okay, is that the same as cost efficient? Actually, it's not, because effective just means it has to produce the desired results. So Tarex probably will remove the tar eventually, like Rapid Remover will, but which product will remove it quicker? Which product will dissolve it quicker? So you could use a product, for example, let's say like Goof Off or Goo Gone, and I suspect that those products would also dissolve tar, but I guarantee neither one of those products will come close to how well Rapid Remover works, which then goes into a deeper question. How much time how much money is your time worth? So let's say you bought Tarex, which I know is not cheap. So $22, so 17 ounces, that's, pretty close to a typical 16-ounce bottle, which is a decent amount.
Here's 1 liter for $38.
Well, what was the first? Okay, so 34 ounces, which I know this approximate size for that, because here in the States, we're used to 32 ounces. So this company is packaging these more based on the metric system of a liter. So, but once again, how efficient is it going to be? I don't know. I can only speak for Rapid Remover. And that's where a lot of beginners they'll lose sight of time is money. So they may decide to be cheap and say like, oh, I don't care, I can't afford that stuff. But they spend 3 times as long doing something. But because I was a beginner, obviously, at some point. I remember the mindset. So you're thinking, well, shoot, I don't have other work to do. I certainly don't want to be spending a fortune on products when I can get by with like cheaper products. But to me, that's just a rationalization in a bad way. And what I mean by that is that let's say you actually did buy a more expensive product and it worked way better for you, as in more efficient. So the time that you save, yes, you had to pay extra for it for that product, but the time that you saved, you could be actually going around wherever you're detailing and canvas the area and literally do cold calls and drum up business for yourself so that you are busier, so that you can afford the more expensive products. So it's a tough balance act when you're a beginner because you want to cheap out. You want to, keep it the bare minimum. You don't want to spend a bunch of money on products and tools. I totally understand that. But I'm of the opinion that if you at least, because I'm also of the opinion that you need to get your feet wet and you need to test the waters out firsthand and to see if it's going to stick. So if you can survive 3 months and you still like it and you still are motivated to do it, then I would definitely recommend start spending money wisely on products and tools that are going to perform better for you. Because if it's going to save you time and aggravation, to me, it just translates into a greater chance of having long-term success for yourself.
All right, there we have a crap load of comments, a crap load.
Okay, well, what's the most cost-effective
No, wait.
I just got back from Gilbert. Well, check him out. I know where these cities are.
Yep.
Went right down Arizona Avenue through South Chandler on my way home. Right on. Frank. Citrol, maybe Frank. Yeah, like Mark. I think Mark's talked about this before. I have not tried Citrol. Thank you, says Frank.
I'm going to skip that one because it's just small talk.
Kakemi Ulix or T, besides others. Ulix don't let it touch trim. Well, there's a problem. I accept everything's got its trade-offs, but that would be tough to carry a product around knowing that you would have to worry about the trim, especially when it comes to tar removal. And I'm not familiar with that product anyways. Citrol 266. Okay, it kind of seems to be a unanimous or getting unanimous with this group that Citrol. Have you looked that up, Sean?
Yeah, we looked at it before a different video.
I know we have.
Yep.
I don't remember. I can't visualize it in my head.
Yep, we looked this up earlier.
Who makes it 3D?
It's right here.
Oh, okay.
We
So it's an aerosol.
Yeah.
Schaefer Manufacturing Cleaner Industrial Degreaser. Huh. Okay. $55 for 3 cans of aerosol. That's a little on the pricey side. And I would say that I don't know if that's much cheaper than Rapid Remover, honestly. Yes, I specialize in clear coat repair, also stainless steel trim on antique vehicle restoration, headlight restoration. Well, check you out. And so when you say clear coat repair, Frank, I suspect that you mean like actual body paint. I mean, repair can mean a lot of things. Are you restoring the clear coat through polishing, as in traditional detailing polishes, or are you talking about you're doing paint and body work? I don't know. Tarex from Car Pros. Yeah, so we've got three choices for you: Citrol, Tarex, and Rapid Remover. Aluminum wheels and Harley parts and hot rod parts. Hey, have you ever buffed out a full old school Aerostream trailer, Frank? That is a chore. In fact, I had an opportunity to do that and I turned it down. I thought, there's just no way I'm doing that. Tarex is expensive. No, I think it is.
Yeah, we just went over it.
Yeah, it's tough to know. And I just don't have that much experience with Tarex to really do a comparison with Rapid Remover. Frank is on Facebook. You could tell your handle. Your handle. Do we actually use that term for social media? I don't remember.
Yep.
That's an old CB term. What's your handle there, big buddy? What's your 10-4? I don't know. Does WD-40 really dissolve? I know there's so many off-label uses for WD-40. Yeah, it's actually not a lubricant. WD stands for water disbursement. It's not even a true lubricant that most people tend to use it as. And I believe it probably, because I know WD-40, I'm pretty certain will dissolve adhesive like on decals. So I suspect that it will also work on road tar. So that might, I mean, and if that's the case, if it really will dissolve it. See, the problem with road tar is there's generally like actual particles in the road tar. It's not just like creamy tar that's solidified. It's got little particles in it. So you will scratch the snot out of the paint when you do any kind of rubbing. So if you don't dissolve it enough and then wipe it off or wash it off somehow, you're going to scratch the paint up. So if you're using a product that really doesn't dissolve it very quickly, you're going to get impatient and you're going to start rubbing and you're going to really just scratch the snot out of the paint. That's been my experience anyways. Top Star Detailing is in the house. What's up, guys?
Jeff.
KCX Kokami T is my go-to tar remover. Okay, so we've got a second vote for, I wonder why they call it T. That's kind of a strange name. Why don't you look that one up, Sean?
I am. KCX.
I have never heard of it.
Oops. I spelled the cock. There it is.
No, you're bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you find it, click on it, and I'd be curious to read the description. I wonder if it's a citrus-based type of cleaner also.
Trying to find it.
It's not coming up.
Well,
Well, how about the top left? That says T in parentheses? Like, yeah, what is
this one?
what is that? I mean, I'm just seeing the T word, which is kind of confusing. Like, is this a German thing? Road fallout and tar remover. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, that's it.
Maybe because none of us white boys could pronounce, or English speaking people can pronounce that word T-washe. So they just call it T for us normies that can't speak German. See the product description, Sean.
All right, we have to go through it fast because there's a lot of comments, a lot of people talking.
Okay, I've got more time than I've got sense. Yeah,
because we're running out of
go
time.
for it, Frank. I mean, as I say, if it's working for you, then stick with it. Cheaper, none, probably. Goof Off Pro Strength worked also. A 6-ounce bottle is like $6. Okay. So he's suggesting there's probably nothing cheaper than a $6 bottle of Goof Off. Don't use Chemi on your.
Yes.
Well, not all chemis are created equal, Mark. Some chemis actually work. Depends on your desired outcome. Did I just say that? Outcome? Is it Coke or crotch? Cock chemi. Yeah.
Oh wait, yeah. Let me go over here. Sorry, Umberto. I didn't mean to skip him.
It's pronounced as Kojimi. Yeah, I once again, I tape recorded it. So this was years ago where I could remember how it's pronounced. And I would say that what Umberto just showed was pretty close to what I remember. What's up, Leardy58? Welcome back. Welcome back. I stay away from things I can't pronounce. Yeah. That's kind of the sniff check. If I can't pronounce it, I'm not using it. Sniff check as well, or as well, perhaps. Yes. Yes, they're cutting bus We clear shoot another base coat if I have to. Yes, they are cutting bus. I'm not sure how to interpret that. Fine sanding and buffing, cut and buff. Okay, so he does sanding, and then so you're not doing paint. You're not respraying any clear coat damage. You're just sanding it and buffing. Got it. So you're doing hardcore paint correction. You get it. Yeah, right back at you, Leardy. Leardy 58. Not yet, and I really don't want to do. I don't want to do pneumatic either. Huh? I wonder why. I mean, pneumatic. I've used my fair share of pneumatic tools, and they've got some serious, great pneumatic tools on the market. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Everything comes as trade-offs. There is no perfect answer. It's just a matter of the trade-offs. Which one works better for you? And it doesn't hurt the paint, and I can always buff the little scratches out if I have to. I suspect he's referring to the WD-40
Yeah.
and using it to remove tar is my guess, which, yeah, I get it. It's a solvent-based cleaner to remove tar. He's probably referring to the T, perhaps.
Yeah. And then Umberto talks about this.
Use Ulix if there's no trim involved or T. Yeah. Tar can be nasty. Tar is nasty. It's a hassle for removing adhesives, but can also work on tar if you don't have T. So it seems that, well, did we look up Ulix? I don't even know what that is.
I'll look it up right now.
That most of the guys are familiar with T by Kokami. I mean, who knows what makes or who?
There it is.
Oh, is that it? So it's another Kokami product.
Yep.
Ulix adhesive remover, evaporates quickly, protects surface while cleaning. I wonder what that's supposed to mean. If it evaporates quickly, but yet it protects the surface while clean. What is this? What is it made for? Is it just an adhesive remover in general?
I just zoomed into the description.
Yeah, residue free, cleans deeply without leaving behind a residue that would attract dirt and contaminants. Safeties on paint, clear coat, PPF. Wow, on PPF, that's a trip. I did not see that coming. Contains no halogenated hydrocarbons. I've never heard that word before. Halogenated. I'm not familiar with that term.
Umberto said that it doesn't smell very good.
Yeah. Excellence for experts since 1968. Okay, I will respray if it needs to be resprayed, base coat or clear coat. Okay, so you will, or at times do actual repainting. Well, good for you, man. And I suspect you've made a career out of this, as in this is your vocation, full-time type of deal. That's cool.
There you go, Darren.
No, those big pneumatic trailers is what I'm talking about, but no, thank you. Oh, I don't know what a big pneumatic trailer is then. See, when I hear the word pneumatic, I think of air, compressed air, things that operate off of air. So, and I could be wrong. I admittedly have never looked up the word pneumatic to see what. In fact, I will just consult very quickly. What does pneumatic mean? Wait for it.
There you go, Darren. I just pulled it up for you.
Can you hear this?
I can't hear you, but I can't hear it. But I already pulled it up.
Now, it relates to or uses compressed ass. It uses compressed ass. It can use as a compressed air or gas. It comes from the Greek word pneuma, meaning wind, breathe, or spirit. So yes, but I don't know. I've never heard of a pneumatic trailer.
It's right there on the screen.
You know, I'm looking at that, but I'm just saying I've never heard of it. Norba, like that just looks like a carrier of liquids. That could be a milk thing or oil or whatever. But so I'm just trying to figure out why,
It tells you right there what it is.
AKA dry
Yeah.
bulk tank. That's weird. So dry, that suggests then that it carries dry goods, but I'm curious why. Basically a metal cylinder with a series of cone-shaped hoppers, a series of openings or manholes. Ooh, manhole. There, we could have fun with that one. At the top of the hopper for loading dry bulk. That's weird that they call it pneumatic. I guess just because of the open air space that can be filled by dry goods. That's funny. I wonder whose idea it was to call those pneumatic trailers. I've never even seen one of those on the road personally. They might be more known in the Midwest where you have a lot of agriculture going on, or up in the Central Valley of California, perhaps.
Do you see what
I do not know.
You see what Frank said?
Kerosene or diesel fuel also work. Yeah, that they will work for a lot of things, but man, talk about nasty.
Smell.
I mean, nasty for your health, nasty smelling.
Fumes. The fumes are probably really bad for you.
Everything. So that's, I mean, if you go far enough back in time, when we were kids, we would use gasoline. I mean, we would just use all kinds of nasty stuff for anything. And yeah, it works. Geon stoners also have road tar removers. I was unaware that stoners did. I am a big fan of their aerosol dressing. That is for sure.
I can look it up.
Yeah, I've never seen it. Of course, I've never gone in search of it either. Geon. Hey guys, do you guys consider me pronouncing that correctly when I say Geon? Does anyone pronounce it differently? Like Geon? I say with a hard G, Geon. Wait for it. Wait for it. Is it not coming up? What are you? You're looking up stoners?
Yeah.
What did you type in? Stoners what? Type in stoners tar remover. Oh, you did adhesive remover? I bet it's labeled under a adhesive remover versus
Oh, there it
tar
is.
remover.
There it is.
What is it labeled as? Let's see. I'm going to say adhesive.
There it is.
Tar, sap, and asphalt remover. Okay, I was incorrect. So there you go, remover. And yeah, it's funny when people talk about sap, like for example, under the context of a clay bar where it says, oh, we'll remove tree sap. And I'm thinking, honestly, the only tree sap I've ever had to deal with or even know about is pine tree sap. And a clay bar is not going to remove it. It is like industrial honey. It's so sticky and gooey. Now, if it's been around enough to completely dry out, which usually takes a long time, like months, for it to become rock hard, then it's a different sort of problem. But fresh pine tree sap, it is just miserable to deal with. And yes, I would never use a clay bar on it, but I would use an adhesive remover, and that's where it would prove effective.
Before we go move comments, hey, Jeff, have a good weekend.
Hey Jeff, good to see you in here. Good luck out there. The war on tar. Yes, there is a war on tar tonight. Noodles that haul the dry cement, the powder. That haul dry cement powder. Okay. Yeah, I've never seen one around here anyways, not in California. Air, yep, pneumatic. I love air tools. I've used some really good stuff, but the second pronunciation, which was Geon.
Yeah.
So it's better to be pronounced with a soft G. So Geon versus Geon. American Eagle in Southern California is big. Oh, the wheels. Yeah, they are big. Did you know what American Eagle are, Sean?
No, but I can look it up.
I'm pretty sure he's referring to aluminum wheels, which they've been around. Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you think was
There we go.
Yeah. Actually, they also have American Racing.
Yeah,
AR.
I know that. I know who they are.
ARE.
They're considered cheaper wheels.
Yeah, probably cast aluminum.
Yeah, they're considered like your
versus
entry
forged.
level custom wheels.
Yeah.
I know because I almost bought them, but then someone told me not to buy them.
Yeah, who knows? American Eagle.
Oh yeah, and then you look at wheels. Remember we talked about like the 30 spoke wheels?
Oh yeah, that nightmare that you had to do.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if I wonder.
Why don't you look up 30 spoke wheels? I
Let's
mean,
see.
I doubt that you sat there and counted them though.
No, it was. I didn't count them. There's just so many of them.
Some tragic amount of spokes.
It was like
more than those.
Yeah, it was like one of those where it was like in the front there's a bunch of spokes and behind it there's more, but they're like.
How about this wheel? And now we've gone completely off the reservation, but spinners.
Oh yeah, those are.
Do you remember when those came out?
Yeah, in the early 2000s. I remember.
They were so popular, and I remember my customer who decided he had to have them on his Hummer. He was so ostentatious with his money, and what a nightmare those things are to clean because you got the front face that spins, hence the term spinner, but you've got to clean the wheel behind it, and it was just a nightmare. I thought, oh my gosh, these are a joke. I'm glad they didn't last long.
This is a 72 spoke wheel.
Yeah. A lot of the lowriders put those on their lowriders.
Yeah, I've seen people like I remember when Hyundai came out, or Genesis, which is a brand of Hyundai.
Yeah.
They came out with something like this, and my first comment was, my first
on their
comment,
stock car.
Yeah, it was like a G90, which is like I'll show you what it looks like. G90, which is their top end. Oh shit! Shoot. I was like, G90. There we go. Here we go. That's not gonna show it.
I guess it's not a car that's in production any longer.
Oh no, it is.
Oh really?
Yeah. Oh yeah. This car is like it starts at $90,000
for a Hyundai.
It's not Hyundai. It's a Genesis. Is there a luxury brand?
Yeah.
Yeah, luxury brand. But they
seem to be very popular. If it's not coming up.
Oh, it's coming up. These are all Genesis. But I'm trying to find the
wheels.
Wheel,
you mean
the wheel that I saw?
How about the black one in the middle? Is that kind of the wheel? No. You have to go back a page.
Oh, here we go.
How about down there?
This one.
Yeah.
This one.
Yeah, what a nightmare.
Open image. 1 second. I'm trying to find.
Good old Genesis thought they would create some job security for us detailers out there. Like here's some job security for you because no owner's going to ever clean those wheels.
Look at that.
Yeah, no thanks.
That's what I'm saying. Like when I saw it, I remember it came out, and I immediately went to the comment and said, "What a horrible idea! Whoever designed those wheels is an a-hole."
I know.
And then people in the comments were, "We told them those wheels are amazing." I'm like, "Yeah, you're not thinking about the maintaining of the wheels. You're only thinking the look."
And for example, this car alone represents two specific challenges as detailers. Look at that grill, that oversized grill with all the intricate, mesh to it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what's tough when you're pricing a car that you don't get to see visually.
Yeah.
I mean, with the computer and the internet these days, if you got a customer on the phone, you could actually do a search and do a visual on their car. But back before the age of the internet, when I was doing this stuff, it's like, you just don't know. What are you going to have to do? The person on the other end of the phone describe their wheel for you. Can you describe how intricate your wheels are? Because they could take me a long time to clean. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah, there's
American Eagle Trucking Company, the pneumatic trailers. They've got thousands of them. Yeah. Okay. Just not familiar myself. Man, the spokes BMW had. Yeah. For example, BBS wheels. Look up BBS wheels. Those are pretty popular with the BMW tuners, and they had this cross pattern. There was a series of some of those, like the silver one, maybe third row down. No, third row. Yeah, right there on the left.
Oh yeah, that one.
Yeah, that one right there. Exactly. Click on that.
Hold on a second.
That was an old school BBS wheel. Actually, go back. Sorry, go back. Now, bottom row, second from the right. Very bottom row. It's in black and
Oh,
white.
right here.
Yeah, right there.
Okay.
That is an old school traditional BBS wheel, and people love to put them on. Can you expand that at all or enlarge it? There we go. Yes, that thing. What a pain in the ass. And I remember I had a Jaguar, an old XKE, like a 90 something, and it had these wheels, and yeah, it looked cool. In fact, I remember vividly now. This is when I first discovered wheel acid, because I used to clean his wheels on his Jaguar with just a regular cleaner, and I'd have to get a brush in there, and it's like, oh my gosh, somebody shoot me. But then I discovered wheel acid, and because I had a good pressure washer, I would just make sure I saturated every surface of that with wheel acid and blew it with the pressure washer, and instantly it was just clean. I thought, oh my gosh, saved my life. Of course, I was helping destroy the environment, but that's a separate conversation, which I do not feel good about. What about fluid or lighter fluid for tar? Yeah, I can't comment on that. I suspect if it's a combustible type of liquid, it's going to dissolve tar at some level. Adhesives, the ones for carbon used in barbecues. Yeah, I suspect it would work, but that's right up there with using diesel fuel or gas, where it's just, I mean, who wants to touch that? I mean, I certainly wouldn't want it on my skin, and I certainly wouldn't want it burning all the fibers in my trachea and lungs and what have you. Momo has some of those. I like Momo wheels. They're, in the past, there were they had some of my favorite designs.
Yeah, some of these wheels are pretty intense. Oh,
Yeah.
God. Look at this thing.
Oh my gosh. Detailer's nightmare.
Look at that thing.
Yeah, which actually looks exactly like the wheel we're just looking at, except this one is deep dish, has just a really, really deep dish to it. And it's obviously chrome, and it looks like it's maybe the center area has been anodized a type of gold. But yeah, that's the wheel right there. What a pain in the butt.
Yeah, like I said, the problem when people design vehicles, they're not thinking about maintenance.
The mechanics or the detailers or anyone else.
No,
they're not.
Yeah, that's a problem with designers. Not just in cars, in homes or
in anything.
Anything. Like, yeah, they're not thinking about the long term. They're only thinking about the short term, like the aesthetics.
The aesthetics.
Yeah. It's just the other car that I was going to show you that also has insane wheels.
Yeah.
Just stupid. Is a G80, which is another Genesis.
And is that a Infinity? What's a G80?
No, Genesis.
Oh, did you say it's also a Genesis?
Yes.
What's the difference between the G90 and G80?
G90 is more expensive and it's also bigger. G90.
But are they essentially the same type of car, a four-door sedan, I guess?
Yeah.
Some kind of four-door sports. Is it like a sports sedan or is it a luxury sedan?
G80 is, the G90 is not. The G90 is luxury, full luxury.
Yeah.
I mean, they're all luxury, but the G90 is full on luxury. Is a competitor with Mercedes, BMW, that kind of stuff.
Wow. I wonder how they rate compared to a Mercedes.
They're rated like pretty high. G90 is like the G90 is. I know a lot about. I love cars, so I'm trying to keep up with them. But
yeah,
G90. It's
we're picking up on your fervor for Genesis.
Look, see, G90, $100 grand.
Wow,
for the car.
Who would have thought?
But they're expensive, but they're cheaper. Like, okay,
is Hyundai Korean?
Yes. So Genesis, look, this is $100 grand, but the equivalent of a Mercedes or BMW, you're gonna pay like 150, 160. So it's gonna be you're getting your money's worth. And they're actually good cars. They make good engines, and they used to make a V8 for the G90, but I don't think they make it. I think now there's 6, but it's like a supercharged 6.
Yeah,
it's got like almost 500 horsepower, but it's like you don't drive the car because to save money on gas. You drive it to because you
don't.
Yeah, because you can afford it. But yeah, the G80 too. So I remember I had a coworker who drove a G80.
You had a what?
A coworker.
What are you saying?
Co-worker.
Oh, co-worker.
Yes.
Man, sorry, my ears.
Yeah. All right.
Co-worker.
Yeah. So I had a co-worker who drove a G80, brand new one, and it actually looked like exactly like this one right here.
Yeah.
And this one here. Yeah, exactly this one.
You know what I do not like about these cars?
Yeah.
I've seen a few of them on the road, and they've translated. You see those side little strakes
Yeah.
on the front fender?
Yeah.
To me, it just cheapens the car big time. And those wheels,
Yeah.
I do not. I recognize those wheels also. I'm not a fan of those wheels.
Yeah.
But
Well,
they
here we go.
started using those side strakes on like their SUVs also, and I don't know. And you know who is using those too is Bentley, and
Yeah.
it just, to me, for whatever reason, just makes the car look cheap. But that's just me and my silly opinion.
It's all right. There's Humberto talking, saying something.
Just doing one of those wheels with multi-spokes would raise the price by an additional hour. Pretty much, like
Yeah.
seriously, because it's just so labor intensive. GX like here. The GLE 63S, or actually I think it might be S63, but I don't know. I'll leave it to Mercedes to toggle those around. Versus a 65S. How about a 65? I never see 65s on the roads. That's a bigger engine than the 63. They're even more rare and more expensive. I am an AMG fan, I must say. In general, I am a fan of Mercedes. I like the materials that they use as compared to other luxury brands like BMW. Yes, I'm a fan of BMW, but in a pinch, based on materials, I just generally like the materials that Mercedes uses overall.
The only Genesis that I like, actually, since we're talking about this, is the
Yeah.
G7. The G70. Crap. So
Did
the
you pull that up already?
No, I'm gonna pull up right now for you.
So you pulled up an 80 and 90. So what's a G70? Is it just a smaller sedan?
Yes, a smaller sedan.
See, I'm not familiar with the Genesis line, so I don't know how they like. For example, BMW is pretty straightforward because it's numbers starting at 1,
Yeah.
2, 3, 4, 5. Mercedes, I'm familiar with they do a alpha system, which is letters. So you got A, I don't know if they have a B, but they got a C, an E, G. So, but Genesis, I don't know. So is this like a mid-size sedan,
No,
a sports sedan?
It's a small.
Oh, a compact,
I guess it would
or
be
maybe a
considered that.
mid-compact, perhaps.
Yeah, like the size of a Camry.
Oh, okay. I wouldn't call that a compact then.
Well, it's a sedan.
Yeah.
But it's
just a,
the three lineups. This is the smaller, sportier one.
that actually looks pretty cool.
It's actually really fast.
Is it?
Yeah. It's got 375 horsepower.
Yeah.
0-60 in 5. I think it's 4.9.
That's pretty quick.
Yeah, it is a luxury / sports car.
Nice.
Yeah.
And what do these retail for?
I think like 60. I think it's a twin V6.
But what is the retail price of the car? The
I think
MS?
it's like 60 grand.
Yeah.
Let me see. See, like 50.
Yeah.
So 50, 56. What they go for. And that's all,
not bad.
All-wheel drive. Yeah, they're actually. Also had another colleague who had one of these.
Yeah.
And her husband bought it for her, and she loved it. She said it gets horrible gas mileage, but she didn't care. It's like they're really fast.
Did not care. Yeah.
Really fast, and they're also very, luxury.
Right.
Like in fact, actually, I've always thought it would be kind of cool on one of these because you're getting a bargain.
It seems like it. I mean, it's got a good, value ratio, cost to benefits, cost to features ratio, which translates into value, assuming that it's.
I'm gonna find this for you. Here's the I can't really see it, but here's the
interior cockpit.
Yeah. It's really nice. It's got like Napa leather.
Yeah.
And it's like really, really nice. I mean, it's not cheap. It's all the materials are, not cheap. It's real leather. It was nice. So.
Nice.
But anyways, I thought we can end it there. I'm gonna go ahead and go back to this screen.
Okay.
I figure since I'm getting hungry.
Yeah. Man, I'm beat up tonight. Somebody stick a fork in me. I'm done. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. You can remember, hit that like button on the way out. Here, Darren is pandering to the audience in the name of the algorithm. Because I know if I didn't do it, you'd be doing it, right, Sean?
Yep.
Don't forget to like and subscribe and share so you can get the latest updates and stay informed when we release them.
Well, not just that, but make sure other people can reach our live stream and they can get their questions answered.
Yes, there's that.
That's the whole point of this live stream is for you guys. It's not for us. It's for you. We talk about whatever comes to our mind.
We're givers.
But at the end of the day, it's all about you guys.
We're givers that way, right, Sean? You were a giver.
Yeah, and again, FYI, as you guys know, we get paid $0. We make nothing. But we do it for fun, and we do it because we like hanging out with you guys. So
yes. Well, thanks for that, Sean. Thanks for your assistance this evening.
Yeah.
And enjoy the remainder of your weekend. Same with you, party animals out there. And we'll see you. Oh, I only hesitated because I thought I had a conflict in my schedule, but I don't. So same bat channel, same bat time next week. And
later.